Hi there, welcome to Squid Studios, where it all comes together. I am Kelly, and we're going to talk about the 3 things that are going to keep you safer as a dude over 30 or a chick over 30 trying to learn how to skateboard for the first time. So this last week has been hectic and very hard to be productive. I'm falling a little bit behind in the editing. I have a whole movie shot, but getting to the editing part of it was difficult with what we're dealing with in the home. And I have moved forward with developing Yvonne's website a little more. It's almost ready to come to you guys. I'm so excited for you to see her new line of clothing. It is insane, and it's just not clothes, it's all kinds of crap. So I want to get it to you. Hopefully we will be finishing all of that this next week, and you'll be able to see the awesomeness that is. But I made this video instead because I ran out of time. But I still want to talk about this stuff because it's important to me, and I hope it helps you guys. But before we get started, remember, like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment. Number 1, digestion. Paying attention to what you eat and how much you eat relative to when you go skate. Don't eat a large meal before you go skating. You'll feel heavy. Eating heavy food in the same day honestly might really mess you up as a person over 30. You'll feel heavy, not just in your stomach, but all of your muscles will feel heavy. Lots of sugar, lots of bread, things like that will really weigh you down and not allow you to be as active as you want to be when you go to skate. Also, being starving is not a good idea to go skating either. Eat many hours before you go skating, like at least 5 hours, eat your last meal. But if you're on the verge of being hungry, like really hungry right before you go skating, eating a Cliff Bar if you're really hungry, or if you're just a little bit, hey, I wouldn't mind having a little drop of something to eat. Eat a couple of those like gluten-free bites or whatever. And that way you have a little bit of food in your stomach so that you don't get starving when you're out there and feel nauseous from being hungry while you're exercising. Definitely wash that kind of stuff down with a good glass of water, or grab your big bottle of water that you're going to have while you're skating and drink some of that. And that way you've got the energy without all that weight or feeling full. Because that's really one of the biggest inhibitors when I go out, is if I've eaten too much in that day. Like, I ate too much sushi one day and just was not able to move or function well for like 6 hours after I had eaten too much sushi. So the reason I called it digestion instead of just diet is because you want to excrete before you go. As much excretion as you can. Number 2 is musculoskeletal. In other words, your muscles and bones and joints. You want to definitely get all of that loosened up. Now this might be a little bit contentious because some people say that they are more prone to getting hurt if they stretch before they exercise, and other people say you should stretch before you exercise so that you don't get hurt as bad. I cater to the latter, where I do believe I've experienced that I don't take a fall as easy when I haven't stretched properly. But if I have stretched properly, when I do fall or I do, have a bad maneuver out there, my body's able to handle it a lot better than if I hadn't stretched at all, which had happened. I hadn't stretched and I wasn't able to function as well, and when I fell straight on my palms, and it was very, a hard fall as opposed to the rollout. When I do the full body stretching, I fall more like a parachute fall, where you just kind of crumble onto the ground and you roll your body down to the ground, as opposed to hitting the ground or trying to stop yourself from hitting the ground at all. You roll it out. Okie dokie, and number 3 is your pads. Wear all the pads that you think you should. I do see people wearing any combination of pads, but every time I see people not wearing one of the pad sets, especially when they're learning and growing, that area that isn't padded gets the crap beat out of it. Like, they'll be wearing the knee pads, they'll be wearing the wrist guards, But then their elbows get whacked and they're purple and swollen and all this crap because they're like, I don't want to look foolish wearing the full set of gear, all of the pads. Honestly, guys, I dress up like the Michelin Man. I put every single pad I can on. You see, I even wear the gloves. The gloves make sure that the skin on my left hand never gets broken. So that way when I play guitar, I never have any breaks in my hand or even in my palm. So that way when I'm holding the guitar, it's not irritating my wound because I don't have any wounds to speak of because I wear gloves on top of the wrist guards to protect my wrists so that way I can continue to play guitar. Same thing with the right hand. I wear the glove on the right hand so that way I don't get any bone bruises or any abrasions on the tips of the fingers that are going to be holding the pick. Or resting on the strings or resting on the guitar or touching the guitar in any kind of way. So that way it's not, that it's painful. And you sweat and you get all the salt and the sweat and the dirt from the guitar and the metal from the guitar in your wound. It hurts, so let's just avoid all of that altogether. And before we get started on the bonus tip that I'm going to throw in here, please like, subscribe, ring the bell, and leave a comment if you are over 30 and learning how to skateboard. So that bonus I was talking about, how to keep your gear from smelling like ass. This stuff smells terrible when you use it. I knew that from mountain bike riding, that our gloves that we wear when we're mountain bike riding end up smelling so bad. One of the easiest ways to avoid that is every single time you come back from doing the exercise, whether it's mountain biking or skating, take your gear into wherever you're going to wash up. In other words, like I jump in the pool most nights, I jump in the pool with all the gear, take off the gear in the pool, and squish the water through the gear so that way it gets a good rinse. Every 3 or 4 times that I come home from a skate, I'll take the gear into the shower with me and use body soap in each piece of gear and squish soap through the gear and then rinse off the gear in the shower. And this will help you avoid making some room in your house smell like a gym locker. Or every time you're wearing your gear, you're like, wow, the wafts of horrible smells coming off of and it's mostly your wrist guards and your gloves. Of all the gear that you wear, they get the smelliest. So washing your gloves and wrist guards with soap in the shower, so that way you don't have to, because if you put them in the washing machine, they just float on top and don't actually go into the water, and they don't get as clean as you would hope they would in a washing machine. They get 1,000 times more clean if you take them in the shower and wash them with a good smelling soap, and they will smell like that good smelling soap when you're out exercising as opposed to rancid, horrible whatever. Every time you wipe sweat from your face, your gloves will smell so bad. It's gross. Then hang them up to dry on one of these racks. Then I take them out into the sun the next day and put them out in the sun. Then I take them outside the next day and put them in the sun to get a good dry and a good sanitization from the sun. It will kill most bacteria. So hopefully this also adds to the fact that you will enjoy skateboarding more if you don't stink terribly. And that's what this is about, how to enjoy skating as an adult. So I hope that those 3 tips and the bonus tip help you enjoy skateboarding over 30 as a newbie more. So lastly, do not forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and stay safe, keep creative, and we'll see you next time. Okay, make sure that you